Let's go. All right, so let's begin with the 10-year. Overnight in the overnight session, it pushed up about 2.66. This was the peak, and it blew past its two standard deviation, got overbought, and came back down to its 50. No surprises here, but I think it should have gone down a little bit further to test its mean on the hourly. It hasn't tested that a long while, and it's been overbought throughout. I think it needs to come back and test this number here. Will that happen today? I am pretty hopeful that will happen today. 2.59. I'm pretty hopeful this will happen today. And after that, we'll also look for a push uh, right here. So we'll look for this 8 below 21 phenomenon again occurring on this 10-year, and most likely this is the driver of the markets today. So let's keep an eye on this one. This is bouncing here. If the bounce is successful, it'll push into 2.63 again. But what I would like to think is this thing is coming down, so it has to come back to its mean at least around at 2.599. That's my thought process today. So let's see if it breaks below 2.599. After that, we'll reassess the situation there. Uh, and not going to go into this, but let's go back to futures. Futures came right back down after, I think, where is that? On our chart here. So I think where is that? Closed about here, and the 10-year continued to push up. The futures continue to come down, and right now the futures are sitting at, no surprises, the 200, right? And it broke below a little bit further to test its 21, but no surprises here. Came right back down to the 100. I did not think this is going to happen so quick, simply because market was in a super uptrend, and the 10-year, of course, it did the trick. It pushed higher, so markets pushed down. Generally, because Nasdaq is, I mean, the tech is heavy. Uh, every index is tech heavy these days, so this came back down. Yesterday, if you saw the indices performance, industrials were the least affected. If you would have taken out something like an Apple or maybe Microsoft out of that index, that would have probably been positive yesterday. And Nasdaq was the RUT was the biggest laggard yesterday, but all in all, I think Nasdaq is still kind of has downward momentum, and it, market should push up from here, at least try to push up from here. Then the mean is sitting right here, 44444. So if it comes back down to 4444, which is another good 30 points to the downside, it will bounce from here. But this will be a good spot that, probably today it will bounce from here, but tomorrow it will test this thing and break this thing if it comes to this. And we have already entered the zone where the probability of the price going back to the mean is high now. We have entered that zone now. So let's see what happens here. My expectation is a bounce and test of probably the 21 again, and after that, test of the mean again and pierce below the mean to test this 44 or 100 or something, 4411 or something. This is where it is going. Round it up at 4400. A good 79 points down, but before that, this is where it needs to bounce. Oh, barely hear you. I think it's Ryan, but I can barely hear you.
It is me. Sorry, my mic was up. I said, the Q's already hit the 21 and didn't give a bounce, and they're approaching it again. You think they're still going to bounce from the 21 and then test the mean down there at 350?
Oh yeah. If that has already happened, then a bounce is expected. Obviously, it should have bounced here itself. But if this thing stabilizes, right? If this thing starts to come back down, at least toward its mean here on the hourly, and it
Okay.
will come at some point during the day, it will come down to its mean. It's been quite overbought here. So I see the downtrend happening. So if it comes down here, then we'll reassess the situation.
All right. So
But I think this
you're basing this strictly off the 10 year right now.
correct, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Just wanted to follow the train of thought there. Sorry.
Yes, sir. So this is what we want to doing. And Qs, if you're trading Qs, follow this thing, Nasdaq, obviously, IXIC. Al is super happy. Anyway, so this thing is SPY coming back down to okay. I think it is about here 447. So this thing should, where is that? It should open somewhere around here. If anybody has that app which says implied open according to the futures, I think it should show up on CNBC or something. I think it should open somewhere around here. 447. If it is 447, it should be around here. 448, 4481, somewhere around here. This spot, I think SPX will open, look for a bounce, and if it can clear this 200, most likely it will. And we'll look for a push into this 4501. If it can't, then it has to come back down here. It will test this number, 4465 or 44. Let's round that up at 4460. Most likely it will stall around here, but I certainly think it will push down to this number, 4440, around 4440 to 4439, somewhere around here. Look for a bounce. Look for a bounce around this area. First bounce, then it has to come back down, test that number. It will break that number and push into this number, 4415. So good 100 points to the downside today. But let's see how it behaves around this area. 4477, I think it is sitting somewhere around there now. Then let's look for 4462. That's my base case to the downside. 4462 is my base case to the downside, and 4489 is my base case to the upside. And we'll reassess the situation if it breaks above here into 4507, or if it breaks down below from here into the mean. What does that mean for SPY? It is sitting about here, and I think it will push down into this number, 446. Look for a bounce around here, then push into 44, 447 area. Right, so this is probably to the upside here, and for the downside here, 446.50. And if it breaks here, then we'll look for 445. Then obviously if it breaks here, we're looking for this number, 442. This is how the game is going to be played today. And if it breaks this number, most likely it will bounce from here. That is my expectation, because the technicals would have exhausted by the time it comes down to the mean. This would have exhausted. So look for a bounce here. Then this is still yet to come down. This is yet to come down. This is yet to come down. So based on all of this, I think after the bounce, most likely, uh, after maybe Friday should be, options expiration and whatnot, should come back down and test this number. I think 4384. But seasonally speaking, I think after this first week or whatever this downturn is, after this downturn, seasonally speaking, April is one of the best months out there, right? So uh, make whatever if you will, but other comparing to previous years, this year, this is the issue, right? So this is the issue this year. Other years, there was no rate whatnot, or there was no Russia war. Uh, so this year it's different. But seasonally speaking, historically speaking, I would have gone blind into this trade. Where is that thing? SPX. I would have gone blind into this trade for a bounce here. I would have gone blind into this trade. But this year, it's different. This year, everything is different. Fucking everything is different this year. It's super hard. With Russia war, looming global recession, yield curve inverted, and now this thing is pushing up. So a whole lot of things going on. So I'm taking one day at a time. Otherwise, it would have been a blind trade to the upside after this week. Let's see how it goes. We have to deal with whatever market gives us, so we'll do that. And everything Darth is saying, making me put on bear costume. Nice. This Bing is doing something. What the keep talking dirty. Oh, wow. Everybody's in a bear mode. Nice. Also, wait, VIX hits a mean on daily. All right. And let's get into this thing, VIX thingy. 23. Well, that's okay, I guess. 23 is okay. And I was about to kind of right. So the number yesterday we were looking for was on the 1 hour chart. What is that? Here is where I was looking for VIX to get serious about VIX. Right about here. The super trend, it broke the super trend and it kind of started pushing up. Got overbought here and has to come back test its 5 at least. It's not terribly overbought, but 5 needs to be tested. It left its 5, or rather, at least come back down to its 8, around 22.30, and it has left its mean hourly mean way behind. So expecting this to come back down, if this thing, uh, the 10-year calms down a little bit, I think VIX should come down. Yeah, VIX I think should come down. Where is VIX? Ooh, 26. Huh. Let's see. I think VIX has to come back down here, 2270 and 2240. So after it comes back down here, either it should bounce from this area or this area. And if it can come down here, where the mean is sitting, 2077, will it happen? I don't know. There's a lot of support around this area, 2190. But good for VIX that we get to see it pushing higher. Clear this, it is clearing this. And if it does, then we're looking for a push into 26. And let's see here. This is the critical one. And obviously it came right back here and the 200. So this is a very, very, very recognizable pattern. It leaves its mean and it is pushing down here below 200, comes right back into 200 if it clears 200, and it is looking for another major moving average. The mean is sitting at 2413, and as you see SPX coming down to its mean, I think VIX will push into its mean, and most likely I think it will pass its mean. Maybe first time it will kind of, the friction is here around the 200, not even at the mean. I think friction will start around the 200, 2388 or something like that. And if mean is achieved, then we'll look for a push into this number here, 2577. Will it happen today? Well, if SPX breaks below its mean, I think then VIX will push into this number, the upper inner Bollinger Band, 2570. I think it will push into this. But we'll keep a close watch on this one. And of course, we'll keep a close watch on this one as well. So we will treat markets or trade markets based on this combination today, VIX and US 10-year. I'm not going to go into particular stocks today because um looks like, looks like everything will push down. So don't want to make any particular stock. And for other thing is, most of the stocks have already pushed down. So don't want to see that. Don't want to discuss particular stocks today. Tesla, I am still passively short Tesla. So um, I I'm not really enthused about this Tesla coming down to this number already. Uh, I would have wanted Tesla to probably do this after the market opens so that I could have participated in it as well. But it is what it is. And after I think this is done, still there is a whole lot of room to the downside for Tesla. And as we see SPX coming down below its mean, I think Tesla will come back down to its mean as well. Uh, 960, maybe yes, or at least we should try for Tesla 1009. Yeah, 1009,000. Let's round it up at 1,000. We will look for that number. But Tesla being Tesla, God knows, Elon Musk tweets, "Hey, hi, hello," and Tesla runs up. So make whatever you will, but per technicals, I think Tesla has a good about 60 points to 70 points to the downside. Expecting at least this number, 1037 from Tesla. So first, let's play the bounce, and most likely most of the stocks will do this today. Bounce and then push down. Most of the stocks, this is the same setup for most of the stocks today. And that is Apple, same thing. MSFT, same exact thing, right? So the only thing is that now you're waiting for what is this thing? 10-year to calm down. If 10-year calms down, these tech stocks will start to push. Roku, Pew, let's see. Same scenario. I think it is oversold. Oversold. It is bouncing off of nothing here. So after this bounce here, so that's why it's an ephemeral bounce. So it has to come back down. Probably it will come back down and test this number, 122.60, somewhere on this, or somewhere on this 120. At some point during the day today, it will happen. Right. Anyway, so this thing clearly pushed up, hit this one, and coming right back down. The same thing will happen today as well. But if it can, at some point during the day, it will have to come down to this point. I think it is waiting here, 339.60, BRKB. Most of the stocks are in the same boat today. Most of the stocks. So that is the reason I did not want to get involved into a single stock. But everything will do the exact same thing because everything is in the same exact boat. Yep, almost everything. Almost all the market is in the same exact sort of a zone right now, but SPX is not. So this is where SPX bounced yesterday. I think it will push down here. Right. So that's why I'm not looking at any specific stock today. Make whatever you will of this market right now, but go down. If you're looking for entries and exits, look for VIX and look for that individual stock and see how it is behaving around a major moving average. Doesn't matter what you're taking. If it's not bouncing off of any major moving average like this, right, then it will be an ephemeral bounce. And the whole market looks like it needs to come down. So watch for that. Watch for the bounces around these numbers. And uh, same story. Same story. The whole market is in the same freaking trend today. Same thing. All right, so this is why I don't really have much to go on with, but my entries and exits will be based on VIX alongside 10-year. So that's what I mean. Not strictly enough that if both are not in line, I'm not going to do something. But majority of the time, I'll be looking into VIX and 10-year to make my entries and exits. And other thing, just like yesterday, I think for those who are interested in scalping, Hutch will have his live stream up throughout the day. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. Uh, I'll be looking to trade the open very light, uh, and I'll see you in Sanity in some time. Good luck.